Somewhere above your head, a rock the size of a small country is falling through space at 70,000 miles an hour. It's called Mars. It has canyons deeper than anything on Earth. Mountains 3 times taller than Everest. And it is completely, utterly dead. 90 million miles away. Its sister planet is worse. Venus. A world so hot it melts lead. So poisonous, a single breath would kill you in seconds. Out of every planet, every moon, every frozen rock and burning sphere in our solar system, there is exactly one place where you are alive right now, reading, or hearing, these words: not Mars. Not Venus. Not Jupiter's 53 moons. Not Saturn's rings, here. Earth. And in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why, because the answer isn't luck. It's a chain of near impossible events, so precise, so narrow, that scientists have a name for it: the Goldilocks planet. Not too hot. Not too cold. Just right. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll never look at the sky the same way again. To understand how rare Earth is, you have to understand our neighborhood first. Our Sun is a fairly average star. Around it, 8 planets orbit in near-perfect circles. But scientists have identified a very thin, very fragile band of space around that Sun, a ring so narrow it's almost embarrassing when you see it on a map. It's called the circumstellar habitable zone. Most people call it the Goldilocks Zone: too close to the Sun, like Mercury or Venus, and your oceans boil away into space. Too far, like Mars or Jupiter, and everything freezes solid, locked under ice forever. Earth sits almost perfectly in the center of that ring. 93 million miles from the Sun. Not 1,000 miles closer. Not 1,000 miles further, and here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you: if Earth's orbit were shifted by just 1 to 2%, a rounding error in cosmic terms, every ocean on this planet would either freeze completely, or boil into vapor within a few million years. That we are, quite literally, living on a tightrope, but being the right distance from the Sun is only step 1. Because Venus is also technically near this zone, and Venus is held at so distance alone isn't the full answer. There's something else. Something Earth has that almost nothing else in the universe seems to have in the same way: not ice. Not vapor. Liquid water, flowing, moving, connecting continents. 71% of Earth's surface is covered in it. Every scientist who searches for life beyond Earth uses the same phrase as their compass: follow the water. Mars actually had liquid water once, billions of years ago, rivers carved through its surface exactly like they do on Earth. You can still see the dried-up riverbeds today, fossilized in stone, but Mars lost something Earth never did, and this is the piece most documentaries skip past too quickly: Mars lost its magnetic field. Deep inside Earth, 5,000 miles below your feet, a molten ocean of iron and nickel spins constantly. That spinning metal acts like a dynamo, generating an invisible magnetic force field that stretches thousands of miles into space. Every second, the Sun fires a storm of deadly radiation at every planet in the solar system. It's called solar wind. On Earth, our magnetic field deflects almost all of it, like an invisible force field in a science fiction film. Except this one is real, and it's been protecting every living thing on this planet for over 3 billion years. Mars had no such shield. Slowly, over hundreds of millions of years, the solar wind stripped Mars's atmosphere away into space, a few molecules at a time, until its water had nowhere to go but out into the void. That is what a planet without protection looks like. That is what Earth would become without its core. Now here's something almost nobody thinks about: the reason you have 4 seasons instead of chaos. Roughly 4.5 billion years ago, a planet the size of Mars, scientists call it Theia, slammed directly into the young Earth. That it should have destroyed us. Instead, the debris from that collision formed a ring around Earth, and that ring collapsed into a single object: the Moon. That collision knocked Earth's axis to a tilt of about 23.5 degrees, and that tilt is the entire reason seasons exist. Without it, the poles would never experience winter or summer, the equator would burn under a permanent, unbroken sun. But the Moon does something even more important. Its gravity locks Earth's tilt in place, like a spinning top with a hand gently holding it steady. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, but they're tiny, misshapen rocks, barely large enough to stabilize anything. Because of this, scientists believe Mars's tilt has wobbled wildly over millions of years, swinging from nearly upright to almost sideways. A planet like that could never sustain a stable climate long enough for complex life to evolve. Earth got lucky twice, struck by exactly the right object, at exactly the right time, forming exactly the right moon to hold us steady for billions of years. Let's talk about the air in your lungs right now. Earth's atmosphere is a nearly impossible cocktail, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and a razor-thin sliver of carbon dioxide and other gases. Compare that to Venus. A suffocating 96% carbon dioxide, trapping heat so effectively the surface reaches 465 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Or Mars, an atmosphere so thin, so fragile, that its air pressure is less than 1% of Earth's. Stand on Mars without a suit, and the pressure difference alone would be catastrophic before the cold or radiation even reached you. Earth's atmosphere isn't just breathable, it's a thermal blanket, trapping just enough heat to keep water liquid, while a protective ozone layer blocks ultraviolet radiation that would otherwise shred DNA on a cellular level. And that oxygen you're breathing? It wasn't always here. Billions of years ago, Earth's atmosphere had almost none. It was tiny ocean organisms, cyanobacteria, that spent 2 billion years slowly converting sunlight into oxygen, changing the entire chemistry of the planet. Life didn't just survive on Earth. Life built the very air that lets you survive today. So why not the other planets? Let's go around the neighborhood one final time. Mercury, no atmosphere at all, temperatures swinging from 430 degrees Celsius in daylight to minus 180 at night. Venus, a crushing, toxic hothouse, its surface pressure alone would kill you instantly. Mars, cold, thin air, no magnetic shield, radiation soaking into every surface. Jupiter and Saturn, gas giants with no solid surface to even stand on. Uranus and Neptune, ice giants, hundreds of degrees below zero, howling winds faster than any storm on Earth. Every single one of them is missing at least one piece of the puzzle that Earth somehow assembled perfectly: the right distance from the sun, a protective magnetic field, a stabilizing moon, a breathable atmosphere, and liquid water, all existing at the exact same time, on the exact same world. Astronomers have found thousands of planets orbiting other stars now. We call them exoplanets. A handful sit in their own habitable zones. But not one of them, so far, has been confirmed to have all 5 of these conditions together. As far as we can prove today, this is it. So the next time you complain about the weather, or step outside and feel the sun on your skin, remember what actually had to happen for that moment to exist. A star had to form in exactly the right way. A planet had to land in exactly the right orbit. A collision had to happen at exactly the right angle, at exactly the right time, to give us a moon that stabilizes our seasons. A molten core had to keep spinning for over 3 billion years, shielding every living cell from a hostile sun, and tiny organisms, invisible to the naked eye, had to spend 2 billion years quietly building the very air we now breathe without a second thought. None of this was guaranteed. None of it was owed to us. We are not living on just another planet. We are living on the one exception, the single known place in an unimaginably vast universe where every condition for life lined up at once. That's not just science.